information that you really need to ensure that you actually navigate your life with a lot of ease. That was the traffic update around Mulago Roundabout. We shall also continue interfacing with Stephen Mbide later on as he actually handles more machinations for us right here on Morning at NTV. Remember, 1.2 million people die on roads. Yes, that is every year. This year alone, we've lost 1.2 million people in road carnage accidents in that regard. And the festive season is one period through which people actually get overexcited, I believe. Yes, an accident takes center stage left, right and center. But also remember, if you are a victim of all these circumstances, there's insurance. If you've insured your car, you wouldn't be having a problem. If you've insured yourself, life health insurance, you'd be able to receive some kind of help from players like the insurance company of East Africa. Even that person you knocked, that person will be able to be helped by the insurance company because you have motor third party. Let's talk about insurance and the benefits of insurance, especially health insurance cover right here in Uganda. We do have Ismail Sekabira. He's coming in from the insurance company of East Africa to actually interrogate this issue further more. Ismail, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Of course, insurance has come a very, very long way. I joined the insurance company of East Africa around 2011. I was a sales agent for you, doing some amazing work for the company. But then most of the clients I would interact with, I would go to them, telling them, okay, between motor insurance and health insurance cover, which one would you go for? Many of them would clamor for motor. They'll be like, I want to insure my car in the event of an accident. I'll be able to, get some kind of reprieve from the insurance company. But when it comes to my health, I'm not the person who's falling sick every day. Remember, rich people don't fall sick every day because they don't feel the pinch of 50K. They don't feel the pinch of 100K when they, buy some antibiotics from a clinic and then they get better. So for them, they won't feel like they need to go to a major hospital. So for these clients, motor was the major need at the time. But they didn't envisage a situation whereby COVID-19 hits, oxygen levels are non-existent within our health facilities. You go there and you need to cough between 800,000 and 1 million for one oxygen tank. You remember, ladies and gentlemen, during the first and second waves, this used to happen. So let's talk about the change in variations over the perception towards insurance. From back in the day when Ugandans didn't take insurance very seriously up to now when health insurance is the biggest cover, surpassing motor insurance cover. Go ahead, Ismail.
Sure. Thank you so much, viewers. Good morning.
Indeed.
I'm Ismail Sekabira from ICEA Gen Insurance Company. The medical manager. We have a number of policies we do give to our clients, and I've liked the way you've introduced it. Very many people really have a bad perception, thinking that maybe health insurance is not necessary. Maybe I don't fall sick in a year. Maybe I really don't have any, concerns of giving birth at the moment, so I don't need, take a health insurance. And they usually wait at the time when they are sick, and then they start running around, maybe also inquiring what do I do. Then also you see the pandemic has really brought it so clear that for those who had health insurance have appreciated how then you need to be protected all the time.
Indeed. But according to your investigations, Ismail Sekabira, as the ICEA, what was the reason as to why lesser Ugandans were clamoring for insurance as it is, not only health insurance or even motor? Why has it been very, very slow for Ugandans to adapt to this new age of insurance?
Yeah, sure. There are many factors, and one of them we can say maybe sensitization, that the public is not aware, maybe, and this such sensitization like what we are doing right now is very vital for everyone to know. Knowledge is power. So for people who do not have knowledge about insurance, then they have been far away from the truth. Secondly is the misinformation around. Sometimes there are members who do not really fulfill the requirements of insurance, and at the end they feel like maybe they are disappointed. But right now I'm very sure that the insurance industry as a whole has tried to go into penetrating markets, ensuring that everyone is aware, is getting this information. We are on TVs, we are on radios, we are everywhere, and we have a bigger agency force to sensitize the members that you really need to get insurance. Maybe also the other thing might be the cost, because Ugandans, we are poor. They feel like maybe insurance is for the rich, yet not. Actually, there are very many affordable policies, which we encourage people to buy. So with information and people knowing that we are here, they really need the insurance. And maybe others, they don't know the value. Yeah, some others might think, no, I have my money, I can afford the bills, but really sometimes the bills are too big, and not only for health, but also your car when it's spoiled and you don't have that money, it's a write-off. The insurer would be there, really. Yeah.
And of course, the issue of hefty or expensive premiums. Back in the day when I was in the field, it was one major pointer that would give out the clients. They'd be like, "Whoa, the premiums are too expensive. What do we do, Romeo Buseku? I might continue paying these premiums, and my car never gets into any unscrupulous situation that sees me going to ICAA clamoring for a reimbursement in that regard." So for them, the major issue was the premiums. Have you walked around the issue of the premiums being very expensive?
Yeah, I would want to inform the public that actually the premium is lesser than the losses.
See.
That happens. Yeah, just imagine like health insurance, and I'm just giving an average price. It might cost you like maybe 800,000 annually.
That is every year, a one-off.
No, a year, annually.
Like I paid my 800,000 as premium, a one-off a year.
Good. So if you've paid one-off 800 and then tomorrow you're taken to ICU, like the big COVID cases we have had, we have treated over 100 million, some others over 20, 30, you know. And the 800 is really compared to what we were talking about in terms of the bills. The car can, you know, it depends on the value of the car, but some cars have you know, average value 20 million, and they can go for like maybe 600, you know, premium annually, one-off, and then you get a write-off, maybe you knock and then the car is crashed. Definitely you find that you paid over your over and about a million times, you know. Yeah, so that's what we're encouraging the members of the public, that health insurance is looks to be expensive, but again, when you look at the costs that are really managed, you find that it's worthy. It's worthy it. Then the other thing we also want to encourage the public that please look at this, look at and compare our prices. We have different products. Yeah, sure. We have different products that can be within your affordability.
Break them down. Break them down. Those different products.
Okay, fine. So for health insurance specifically, we have what we call a family and individual product. This is you and me. I can come, walk in, or get an agent, or you go to our website. You can also have social media. We share all this information. You can look at the different packages in individual and families. Of course, they are inclusive of a number of families. Family of a couple, just you and your wife or your spouse. Then also maybe if you have children, you, your children, your wife, and then or if maybe it's a full, complete, you know, family. We have actually special product under this family group called the Gold Cash. This Gold Cash has no age limit.
What do you mean?
No age limit means anyone above any age, 50, 100, 80, from zero. We start from zero from when the child...
You're telling me when the child is still in the mother's womb, I can get that child insured? Actually,
we start from 0 years, but the 0 years means from discharge. I mean, discharge from the hospital.
Delivery.
After delivery, you discharged, and then we start cover immediately.
I see.
As long as the child has been discharged. Then our age,
during the process of delivery, I won't get any kind of cover for that.
Yeah, sure, we shall come to that.
Okay.
But let me just give you that from the status. I mean, you can insure your child from zero. That means when you are discharged from the hospital, that child is enrolled on cover. And that child will be covered.
Flu, what,
yeah,
malaria.
Sure. Yeah, any injuries, you know, children break their hands, we shall cover you.
If it's premature, that's why you come through, continue giving my child. Oh, that's amazing.
So even the age, let me tell you that we have a product above anyone who can be enrolled. We have like over 15 clients who are above 90 years, 190. So we have that special product called
When did that special product begin? Because before this COVID-19 pandemic, insurance companies were adamant or slow to actually give our senior citizens some kind of insurance cover. You were saying that they were too risky to actually cover, but then the situation is changing. How soon did this happen? This year?
Sure, this has been there for quite some years now. It's coming to the 4th year.
The 4th year,
Yeah,
you don't
4th year,
say.
yeah, sure. And you will believe that ICA really has special packages. We look through to see those markets that are not covered, and then we come in.
So why were other insurance companies adamant to cover this group of the elderly?
Yeah, sure. You know, it's a sensitive group.
Indeed.
It needs a lot of care. It needs a lot of specialties around you. Yeah. So you need to be prepared like us now. We have chronic care management programs who have enrolled with some of our providers. So now a member can be enrolled with a chronic illness like hypertension, diabetes, and is managed from start to end. So we have those special products for them now, because other insurers might have not been prepared for that. Maybe, and also maybe the costs and of managing such ailments. So we've come.
So they expect the elderly to be falling sick one too many times. They have chronic illnesses already, so they feel like they'll be feeling the pinch of this money leaving their pockets or coffers as the insurance company. But largely, this is different for you. What is the big catch for the ICEA? How do you benefit?
Yeah, sure.
Handling a risky population like this.
Sure, the most important thing is to know how to manage, because majorly the costs come because you have not managed the condition well. If you have hypertension and you're not, very faithful with your drugs, now we have a team, we have a telemedicine team that helps us to follow up these clients. We have also general checkups. We have some number of times we call our clients to go for general checkups, especially for those with chronic illness, and that makes it easier and manageable than when you mismanage. When you mismanage, you end up in ICU, the bills are big, and then you end up with stroke and other complications. But when you do management, a well-managed care, then you are there to penetrate. So that's how we come in then, especially for that.
Speaking of the elderly, people with chronic illnesses, that's why we do have 4 years later talks around the national health insurance cover actually failing to go through. You remember the national health insurance cover around 2017? Government started mulling the possibility of having the formal sector actually insured. These are individuals who are working for the government and others in formal employment. But then the problem with that insurance cover was that it was covering people who are the minority in this country. The informal sector is the biggest. We're talking about 90% of our people being in the informal sector. So now they are mulling, finding a way of inculcating the people in the informal sector vis-a-vis the civil servants and also those in formal employment. What kind of help or aid are you going to be according to the national health insurance policy or cover? Or what kind of efforts are you going to be advancing to them? How are you going to be working together to ensure that this is a success?
Sure. Thank you so much. In fact, it's a proposal. National health insurance is still a proposal, which we as private insurers welcoming, really. We don't have any really any debate about it.
You have no strong opposition?
No.
I was speaking to Dr. Ian Clark, the proprietor, that is Executive Director for International Hospital Kampala, IHK, and was saying this is not a good deal. Because already you cannot make this national insurance health cover a reality if you do not have services within the health centers, if you do not have doctors, if you do not have drugs within the health centers. Yes. So
it's not a proposal that we should, of course, lie away, but the most important thing is to work together and also identifying how we can work better to serve. You see that the national health insurance is a good plan, but how is going to manage? How is going to be managed? What are the terms? How is it going to work with the...
How premiums will be collected?
Exactly, how the
who is
premiums
going to be taking care of the money?
Definitely. That is the most important area now. Otherwise, it's a good idea, and for private health insurers, it's not our competition. It's not our competition.
Are you sure?
It's not a competition as
this looks
such.
like a big competition because this is what is going to be needed from the population. All right, in this national health insurance scheme, the richer people, well, like Ismail, will be subsidizing the poor people, meaning I'll be coughing, let's say, 100,000 as premium. And you, who's not having too much money, you'll be coughing only 50,000. That is a month. So 10% of 50,000 is around 5,000 Uganda shillings. So imagine as someone who's not having a lot of money in your pocket and you're only coughing 5,000 Uganda shillings in a month as premium. So whenever you fall sick, You just go and get free health services from your nearest health center. But for the rich person, they will have to cough 100,000 Uganda shillings. What is 10% of 100,000 Uganda shillings? Yes. So you do know that the rich people will be paying more and the poor people will be paying lesser, but there will be the most who will be clamoring for these services because richer people do not fall sick so often, like I did mention during my preamble. Don't you think you're going to be losing as private health insurance if the whole country is insured on a national health scheme?
Yeah.
Business
sure,
will be running away.
Just take an example of the private hospitals and the government hospitals. It's not far from that. Usually the service is not the same because insurance is all about contribution. It's the contribution. As long as you know you contribute more, then you get more benefits and more limits, definitely. So for private health insurers, we are believing that better services for us, and affordable. Of course, we are looking at very many affordable products and already on the market. For the national health insurance, of course, there is that group we have not covered. We believe that we are not even above 2% of the population, you can see. So, and that is a bigger percentage. It might be less than 1% for health insurance. So we have not penetrated enough, and wouldn't really have an objection for that. However, how the nitty-gritties of how it's going to be operated, how the premiums are going to be collected, because if you're going to force everyone to pay, from the corporate, and again they are also going to be paying for the private health insurance on top of what the national health insurance might not be covering, so it will be a squeeze. So we need to maybe work around with the government to give them ideas on how they can really make this happen, harmlessly, without affecting everyone, but with a lot of help to those categories that are not covered. So to me, and I believe that there will be that session where you see private health the providers like the hospitals and then the government hospitals, and you see the services are really different in a way, and it should be then favoring the national health insurance project should be favoring those who can top up for private health insurance.
All right. Ismail Sekabira and I were talking about the National Health Insurance Scheme. It is still at the proposal stage. Yes, members of parliament, ministers and all other technocrats are working to ensure that people in the informal sector, yes, 90% of those who make up the greater part of the workforce are actually catered for, and also those who are in formal employment, who are the few, and also the civil servants in that regard. But then the issue of how premiums are going to be collected. Remember, they'll be coming to your communities collecting this money on a monthly basis. So where is the money going to be pooled? Who's going to be protecting the money? How is the money going to be used in that regard? How will they be able to tell that Romeo Busiku doesn't have too much money, so he should be able to access more of these services, and person X is actually grappling with other problems alike? So that conversation in the National Health Insurance Scheme has been put to a halt. Let's talk about health insurance as a whole. What are the advantages that come with medical insurance, Ismail Sekabira? Let's break it down for the viewer.
Yeah, sure. I want to urge every viewer here that health insurance is the way to go.
Indeed.
One, it protects you from those big bills.
COVID-19
and all other bills, ICU bills, big surgeries. So you find that sometimes you can't afford that, and you need to sell your property. You need to call all family members to come and help you out. So if you're holding a card, that is the medical card or the medical certificate, you can easily access services on health.
Is there a limit, Ismail Sekabira, to the amount of money I can use as someone who is insured with ICEA? Let's say I got a very, very big disease, maybe like COVID-19. I've been in the ICU for close to 3 months. Every day I've been coughing 1 to 2 million. Is there a cap where you say ICEA, well, Romeo Busiku has absorbed 100 to 200 million. It's not getting any better. We are tired. Yeah. Does that ever happen?
She's not tired, but it depends on the package.
Like he has already hit his peak.
Yeah, sure. It depends. It depends on which package you have bought, depending on the premiums you can afford. If you can't really afford the premium package, then your cover is really wide enough to cover you throughout the year. There are those who, as I've told you, we are looking at packages where that can fit within the society. So for those who can afford lower packages, then definitely definitely you'll find that those will have a little cover. So definitely the cover depends on how much you can contribute, but also the other advantage, and you know, it would be very important for everyone to know that you can easily access quality services. You can access all the biggest hospitals you can see in this world, I mean this country, and of course you can see consultants. You can access good quality radiology. You can do a CT scan when you have you know, your medical insurance, and in fact it's one of those that have to alleviate poverty. Health insurance is one of the projects we should, because you know, if you can afford the bills by paying a small premium, then you have peace of mind. Yeah, sure. So that is what we sell to every.
And indeed, you did mention something that was really important, because you did mention you can go to any hospital of your liking in that regard, but then because many of the people who are not insured, they have no other option but to go to that government hospital that is lacking drugs, that is lacking medical officers, many of whom are striking, so they would have more options with you when they are insured. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and also access to very senior specialists, because with insurance, we don't only collect premiums and also pay bills, but we look through the quality of care. We look through our patients' treatment.
I see.
We guide them, we refer them, and we do second opinion. We can refer them to senior specialists within the country, and for ICA, even outside the country. Yes.
How does one enroll for a health insurance cover, and who is not covered? Before I let you go, in a minute.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone at ICA is eligible for cover. Yeah. So eligibility is everyone, and then enrolling on cover is simple. You just choose a package, and then you fill a form, make payment, and you're already on cover within 10 days. Yeah.
All right, the manager of medical insurance at the Insurance Company of East Africa, Ismail Sekabeda, thank you very much for having made the time to speak to us about this very pertinent subject.
Thank you so much.
Kind regards to everyone at ICA.
Yeah, kind regards to everyone at ICA, and of course to our clients. We just want to inform them that really we have your best products. We have our Simba motto, it's still there. We really have an indisputable unit trust. We have our Toto, a child educator. We have a number of products. We have annuity for those retirees. We're working together, and we also have medical need. So we are a full package.
Amazing work. ICA,
sure.
Thank you very much for coming through. And indeed to you, the viewer who has been watching us since 6:30 a.m. up to now, thank you very much for that undeterred love and support. And to that effect, let's take you to Kayunga district. You have, yes, a contentious situation that is brewing. We do expect Robert Chagulanyi to take center stage in this area against the wishes of the security forces. Juma Kiria is going to be bringing us up to speed with the latest machinations of this. A very good morning, Juma Kiria. What's the latest?
Good morning, Romeo, and good morning, the